Wing 15 Sports Director Glenn Marini. Local sports coverage you can count on.
This is our homecoming, so it's definitely going to be a pretty packed environment.
We're going to have a big crowd there. They're going to have a huge crowd there.
They've been there before, they've done it, and they know they can pull it off in the end.
You know, don't let the game get too much bigger than us.
We want them to be who they are.
Columbia City is a good team, so I'm looking forward to the competition, and they're not going to back down, so I'm looking forward to the fight.
Speaking of fights, the Nature Boy, pro wrestling legend Ric Flair saying it best: to be the man, you got to beat the man. As the reigning conference champ, the Cardiac Kids of Columbia City, they came into this season as the man, sitting atop the throne in the Northeast State. But this fall, New Haven out to knock off those Eagles and bring home some hardware of their own. With that said, we bring in Josh Ayan, who's got your highlight zone game of the week. Josh.
Well, Glenn, statistically speaking, this matchup like looking into a mirror. Both teams ranked in the top 10 of the 4A state poll. Both teams undefeated at 5-0, and both teams led by high-powered offenses averaging over 40 points a night. Columbia City at New Haven, it is your highlight zone game of the week. Columbia City averaging 49 points a game. That is number 1 among all 4A teams in the state of Indiana. New Haven, though, not too far behind the Bulldogs, putting up 42 points a night, good for 7th best in 4A. But tonight wasn't exactly a barn burner. We pick it up in the second quarter, still scoreless, until this. Trey Bates putting New Haven on the board from 9 yards out, but a field PAT would make it just a 6-0 game. Columbia City answering right back. That's Grayson Bradbury to Stratton Fuller. Fuller, a one-handed grab, you gotta be kidding me. And an extra point will put Columbia City up 7-6. And oh baby, we got ourselves a defensive struggle. Still 7-6 entering the fourth quarter. That changes right here as a Johnny Washington, number 6, puts 6 on the board for New Haven. A 2-point conversion would make it a 14-7 game. And Washington, this guy would have himself a night, stepping up big time on offense and defense, including this pick right here, especially with New Haven dealing with some injuries. Mylan Graham actually going out in the second half of this game. Meanwhile, New Haven's defense, after that pick, would come up with another stop. They would break the backs of Columbia City right here. It's Bates breaking loose from 60 yards out, and New Haven still unbeaten at 6-0. They are also in the driver's seat of the NE8 title chase with a 21-7 win over Columbia City.
Discipline, man. Next man step up, and we all came to fight. It was a team effort, and we all did it, man. It felt good. Man, I cried after that, man. It felt real good. You know, I just transferred over here, and I'm in my new home, man. I made a big play for my guys, man. It feel good.
Just came as one. We got a lot of leaders that stepped up. We got a slogan that's we over me. We don't give up on each other. We just stick through it.
Guys were getting hurt. We had some little things get dinged up. Next man played, and you couldn't tell a difference who was in there. They did a great job with a good team win.
Next up, New Haven is at Belmont next Friday, while Columbia City hosts East Noble.